On the night of December 19th, 1991, at Terry Eckerman's home in Wichita, Kansas, the tree was trimmed, stockings were hung, and the house was filled with holiday cheer. Terry's 4 young children and one of their friends could hardly wait for the last few days to pass before Christmas. Dustin and his friend Chris were playing in the living room, while Terry's 3 stepdaughters were busy in other parts of the house.
What's that noise?
I heard this noise. I didn't know what it was. It was a crackling, popping sound. I heard screaming. It was like a danger type scream. I opened the bedroom door and looked out to see what was wrong. And I stood there for a minute, kind of thinking, this isn't really happening, you know, I'm just seeing things or something.
When Terry heard the fire, she ran into the living room.
All I thought about was getting everyone out.
Dustin! Quick!
I looked for the first person I could see, and that was Chris, the little boy I was babysitting.
Here, keep him outside. Where's Danae and Dustin? I don't know.
13-year-old Danae saw her little brother Dustin run into his bedroom.
Dustin! Dustin!
I got down on my knees to tell him we had to get out,
Dustin, come on, we need to go outside.
but he wouldn't listen to me.
I don't want to go. I don't want to.
I was really scared that I wasn't going to get him out,
Come on, Dustin, you have to
and that I wasn't going to get out because I wasn't leaving that room until I had him.
11-year-old Devin escaped out the back door and ran to her neighbor, Leonard Piesinger, for help.
She was screaming and yelling, "My house is on fire." I turned immediately, went right back in the house, and called the fire department.
Dustin, let's go. Come on.
He was huddled way back in the corner.
Come on, it's a fire. Let's go.
There was lots and lots of smoke, and it was getting harder to see and harder to breathe.
Someone's gonna get hurt. Hurry, Dustin. You need to come with me.
I really thought that we were going to die in his house, in his room.
Come on, please. Danae! Dustin!
I was saying, oh my God, I've got to find everybody. I don't know where they are, but I've got to find them. All of a sudden, there was a flash of fire. And it was just fire everywhere.
I got Dustin, I'm coming! You don't let me go.
I was trying to go out the front door, since that was the closest exit. But almost everything around the Christmas tree was in flames. I started towards the back door.
Dustin, quick! Come on, let's get out of here!
Dustin was screaming,
Come on, let's go!
and he was kicking me and, you know, like, let me go. I don't want to go out here. I just want to go back to my room.
Come on, Dustin, come on! Dustin!
Then all of a sudden, he just wasn't there anymore. It was like he had just vanished or something. He just wasn't there.
Where's Dustin? I don't know, he checked and I couldn't see him!
I really felt sick. I just said, oh God, please don't let my baby die. And right after I said that, the smoke cleared away from around him, just for a second. And I reached in and pulled him out. I should have known that there was something wrong with him. I was just so glad to see him that I didn't think about that. I just wanted to get away from the house.
Oh, Dad! Okay. Don't cry, don't cry.
Immediately I could see that he was burnt from the waist up fairly badly. His scalp was dark. His hair was burnt. Tears could have came to my eyes. I knew he needed to get those hands under cool water as soon as possible, and I knew it was bad enough that we need to get paramedics in. I'm going out and see if I can get some help.
Oh, no, Justin, come on.
The thing that ran through my head was I was afraid I was going to lose my little brother. He was only 2, and I love him to death, and I don't want to lose him.
Within 3 minutes of the call, Wichita Fire and Sedgwick County EMS units arrived on the scene, including Medical Officer Alan Green.
Upon entering the house, I determined that Dustin was in critical condition.
About 18 months old. Okay.
He appeared to have burns over his face, his arms, hands, and across his chest and abdomen.
What's his name? Dustin. Dustin?
I knew we had a life-threatening situation at that time.
Dad,
Where's everybody?
we're in the house.
Dwayne Eckerman got home from work shortly after help arrived.
At this point, I still didn't know to what extent Dustin was burned. I tried to stay as calm as I could, and especially for Danae and my other 2 girls. There was a lot of fear, uncertainty. My God, their life had just gone up in smoke.
We're here, buddy.
I knew that it was going to be hard for Terry and for all of us. I stood next to her and I was crying and I told her that I loved her. I was afraid that he wasn't going to get any better, and I just knew that he was going to die.
Every room in the Eckerman house was severely damaged that night, including the bedroom where Dustin had been hiding. Two-year-old Dustin Eckerman suffered 2nd and 3rd-degree burns on his arms, face, and neck. 1 year later, he is still recovering from his injuries and remains under the care of Dr. Robert Bingaman.
Dustin is doing very well. I think he will have some visible scarring, but I don't anticipate that he will have any significant long-term disability.
You in that bathtub?
You remember that bathtub? Yeah. I think Dustin was very fortunate in that his sister recognized immediately what the problem was, and she saved his life.
Can you put some up on the side?
Fire Marshal Ron Blackwell was at the scene that night.
The probable cause of that fire was an electric short in the Christmas lights that were on the tree.
One more.
Every family needs to take time to plan. What are we going to do if we have a fire? A fire moves far more quickly than I think anyone could possibly imagine. And most family escape plans should include 2 ways out. And once you're out of the house, stay out of the house.
Get a hook on here.
What do you say? That's better. What I saw through all of this was a family spirit that was just dynamite. And what I learned from this is that when a setback occurs in a family like this, how important it is to show the love and concern for each other that can build a stronger family when it finally is over with. All right.
There you go.
You like the snow, Dustin? Yep.
Almost every day I remember something else that we've lost. Because there's so many pictures and so many memories that are gone. That I would rather have my family than my house. Because my family's gonna be with me forever.
I used to think that you couldn't have a real Christmas unless you had a real tree. I've realized that an artificial tree can mean just as much as a real tree and be so much safer. A tree is not Christmas. Christmas is in the heart.